Hey guys, Cass Nelson-Dooley here, and we are talking today about a fascinating topic, the ancient oral microbiome. Just to represent, I am wearing my fossil here. This is an Ammonites fossil, believed to be at least 60 million years old. And that's why I am so fascinated with this topic. I have a background in anthropology, and I think there's so much we can learn from our ancient ancestors. Indeed, the oral microbiome is preserved on teeth in the calculus, or the calcified plaque on our teeth. Our oral bacteria are frozen in calculus, much like an insect is frozen in amber or in tree sap. So if this makes you think about Jurassic Park, you're spot on. It's exactly what it is, and DNA analysis has made this available to us in modern day. We can learn about the oral bacteria of 5,000-year-old mummies and 10,000 and more year-old skeletons. And I think there is a treasure trove of information, because it turns out a lot has happened to our oral microbiomes in the last 15,000 years. And our ancestors can actually tell us about what the best diet is for teeth. So it turns out that about 12,000 years ago, our ancestors had great oral microbiomes. They had healthy bacteria in their mouths. They did not have big problems with gum disease or cavities, surprisingly, even though they didn't have oral hygiene measures. But around this time, there was a big change in how we lived, and that's when we went from a hunter-gatherer diet to farming communities. And when we started to grow our own food, our diets changed dramatically, and so did the bacteria that live in our mouths. And what did they do? Streptococcus species exploded in diversity and in growth, and we developed more cavities, more gum disease, and more pathogens and cavity-causing pathogens in our mouths. So switching from a hunter-gatherer diet to a farming or agrarian diet was a big hit to our oral microbiomes, unfortunately, but it wasn't the worst. Okay, our oral microbiome stayed kind of, not great after we moved into farming communities and eating agricultural foods, but it really didn't change until through medieval times. Actually, it's quite a long time that it was very stable. But we had another huge nosedive in oral microbiome communities when the Industrial Revolution happened. When we changed to processing foods and having refined sugar available for the first time ever, it dramatically hurt our oral microbiome and our oral health. It led to more cavities, more gum disease, and just generally more pathogens in our mouths. So what's the take home here? I think there's actually a really useful take home from ancient skeletons and their oral bacterial fossils that live on their teeth, were calcified in their teeth. And that is that we need to move away from processed foods and towards a hunter-gatherer diet. I've always believed it was a healthy diet, but now the fossil record proves that it was not just the healthiest diet for our oral microbiome, but I really believe it's a healthier diet for all of our microbiomes, gut microbiome, skin microbiome, etc., because it's the diet that we evolved with until 12,000 years ago. So a hunter-gatherer diet is whole foods, right? Look at what you're eating and see, is this something I could have taken off of a plant outside or dug up from the ground? Is this something that I could have hunted or fished? If so, then you're on track. If it's in a package, you are eating processed foods that came from the Industrial Revolution, and they are not good for your oral microbiome or your general health. We want to avoid flour, things like pasta and bread. I know it's a bummer. People eat it every day in the United States, but it is not good for our bodies or our microbiomes. We want to avoid cookies and chips. Anything in a package is suspect and is not the best for the microbiome. So that's our homework from our ancient ancestors. If you are having oral health problems, really look hard at your diet and what you're eating every day, maybe not 24 hours a day, but many hours every day. It affects your oral microbiome, it affects your health. And it's a change that I think is pretty well researched and a good choice to make. It's a good dietary shift for all of us to make for better overall health. And enjoy it, and hopefully we'll be learning more from our ancient ancestors in the future.